Good morning, everybody. We have with us today Kaleen Malone, who is going to be talking about the wonderful conference that she's organising in the same place as we had the AREI conference last year, but it's going to be different. And Kaleen is going to tell you all about it.
Thank you so much, Wendy. I'm really honored to be with everyone here today. As for the Soul Summit, what we wound up finding out from our surveys is that people, and I'm going to paraphrase, essentially said, we understand there is an afterlife, we understand we can connect, and we understand all of that, but how do we apply it to our own living? And so we decided to do the Soul Summit Scottsdale and talk about how to improve our own lives, because one of the things that really stood out for me and has always stood out for me is Victor's quote, and I always zoom in on this for everything, is Victor's quote about how imperative it is to teach people about living for the afterlife, as it pertains to the afterlife. I had it here and now it's disappeared from my phone, but I think it's an opportunity for us to focus on living. We don't live to I don't know how many of us don't live up to our own potential. And this gives us an opportunity to heal, to transform, and to grow here on planet Earth. I do have a commercial video that we just put together. It is hot off Carl Fink's computer as of about 30 minutes ago. And I'd love to show that if you're open to it. No one has seen it yet, but me and Suzanne and Carl.
What if someone told you there's no need to fear death?
There is no death.
Go lay down.
Only the body ever dies.
Do you believe in the afterlife?
I don't believe in the afterlife. My friend Gordon Smith said this. I know there is one.
I want to die in my sleep. That's the way I want to go.
When you die, that body, you're done with it. It's like you just kick it to the curb, and you're free.
There is life beyond this one, that there is this greater reality, and we came from it, and we're going back to it.
What if you knew your soul would live on after your body?
Heaven is not way up there somewhere. It's right here. They're in a different reality from us, and they do have to work to make the connection.
Remember, guys, too, you're a soul that comes with the body, not a body that comes with the soul. You were a soul before you incarnated into this, and you're going to be a soul long after you leave this.
And then when we pass, the black curtain doesn't just fall. We step into something so much greater than ourselves. And it is so filled with love.
What if there really is a God whose love for you is unconditional?
All during my torment, I believed in God.
They live in this heavenly country where there is no sickness, there is no death, there's only love and continued growth of the soul.
Now when I step into that dimension where they know only love, that's what I wish for everybody. Because it's a love that goes beyond anything I ever experienced.
You have to not only just believe in yourself, believe that you come from some greater force. You've got to admit something.
Get out of the mind and get into the heart.
Conversely, if we begin to experience emotions, the same ones I mentioned before, long metaphorically associated with heart, love, care, compassion, it produces a coherent spectra in the field. And we are broadcasting this electromagnetic energy to every single cell in our own bodies and then communicating it outwards into space.
We are here for a purpose, to bring that reality into this reality, aren't we? To bring the love here and to be the presence of that love that so many of you know.
And believe that you're worthy of your dreams, that you're lovable, that you deserve them.
You are a beloved child of the divine source. You are never alone, and love truly does live forever.
Soul Summit Scottsdale will reveal scientifically validated strategies and tools to raise our vibration to the highest possibility of who we are, immersing us in our higher mind, our heart's intelligence, and our deeper intuitive guidance. High-frequency living deepens our relationships with our loved ones in spirit, whose greatest wish is for us to live life fully, love ourselves completely, and experience abounding joy. Soul Summit has sold out 3 years in a row. Save your spot now and enjoy special rates at the DoubleTree Resort. Your 2019 General Admission Pass is your golden ticket. It includes 17 high-vibe presentations, free morning yoga classes, 2 luncheons, and a gala dinner featuring John Holland and George Norrie. Extend your high-vibration soul getaway with a reading in Soul Summit's Intuitive Lane. Enjoy an optional journey to Sedona or attend a pre- or post-conference workshop. Register now at soulsummitscottsdale.com.
Really exciting. This is going to be a wonderful conference, and the people that that Kaleen and Suzanne have chosen are just very high quality, and so it's going to be an exciting time.
Thank you very much.
The video is wonderful. I think it's marvelous, and it has a message, and that message it has to get out to the general public. I mean, people have to understand that they are in a situation right now where they can choose to have love, joy, and peace. All they have to do is to go ahead and accept it. And that means that if they can just understand, I mean, they know that they're going to be living after the body stops functioning. They realize that that's true, but at the same time, they don't themselves understand what it's like to live with that knowledge, to live with other people who have that knowledge. And so that this message is a wonderful message. And I think that the video gets it across, and I think the summit is going to get it across as well.
Thank you. Kaleen, can we get back to you? Can you tell us a little bit more about the presenters this year?
Sure, of course. There is one thing that I want to say first, and that is, without Craig Hogan and AREI, this would not be possible. Craig's support, Craig's, he has been extraordinary in having the right words and the right support along the way, and we wouldn't be here without him. So I just want to thank you, Craig, for everything that you're doing to make this happen. We appreciate you very much. Thank you.
So AREI is not running the conference, but sponsoring it. Is that correct?
Yes, that's correct. And so we're deeply appreciative that Craig would give us his trust. That's huge. That's a huge
fantastic. So
move.
People who've come before will find continuity. Is that correct?
Yes, and that's the biggest part of this. I've had a lot of calls on how does this differ from the AREI Afterlife conferences in the past. And the best thing that I can say is, we will have readings. We will have John Holland there providing readings, and Suzanne Wilson will provide readings over a lunch period where we'll provide lunch. We are providing 3 meals this year. And so that it makes it simpler for people. Plus your dinner banquet gala event is included in your summit pass. And we are in early bird pricing right now. You saw some of the speakers in our video. We have 17 speakers. We didn't expect to go that far, but we did want to cover as much as we could about high vibe living. And high vibe living is, the more we focus on raising our vibration and the frequency in which we live with a smile, or with some of the heart math techniques, or with forgiveness, or with de-stressing, the better we can be. And our loved ones on the other side love that because they move with us. And so it really does serve a couple of different purposes. We'll have Howard Martin from Heart Math. He is the executive vice president of Heart Math. He helped found Heart Math. And Heart Math is backed by 25 years of research, and it's earned the trust of more than 5 million people in more than 100 countries. So it's used by Fortune 500 companies, the military, hospitals, clinics. It's used for people pursuing personal growth, people wanting to heal from grief, people wanting to de-stress, people wanting to take it down a notch and improve their health and their hormone balance and their immune system. They all use HeartMath. So it's really a powerful trend in our world. Although it's been around for 25 years, it's making its way to different parts of our country, and we're really happy to bring it to Scottsdale and to have Howard come here and present it to us. So he'll present a session that's included in your Summit Pass, which is Lift 2019, Change Your Life, Help Change the World. And he'll also do a post-conference 2-hour workshop on Sunday morning. So he'll expand on what he teaches during the symposium or during the summit. And we'll be talking. Arizona Belle will present her grief healing and how to harness the grief into taking it to the next level. I had a conversation with Suzanne Giesemann last week, and she said, as she grieved the loss of her mother, I have just lost my dad, who I was a full-time caregiver for the last 5 years in my home. And she asked me how I was doing, and I said, man, it comes in waves, and it's a rough one. It's really rough because my parents had lived with me since 2004, and I did caregiving up until December 15th. And she said, what I do when the wave hits is I just say, this is love. So harnessing, Arizona Belle will harness that love and turn it into the pieces that are the best parts of us. And so it's about living our best life through our grief and turning it into spiritual gold, actually. So other presenters, I've got Kathy Scott Perry coming in. Kathy is like one of my peers. She produces large events around the country, and she will be talking about forgiveness and how she transcended having her 3-month-old granddaughter pass of SIDS in her care, and then her daughter being murdered and her ex-husband being murdered, all in a 3-year span, where she went with that and where she wound up today. I knew her for 4 years before she even told me that any of this had happened. So she doesn't wear it. She doesn't talk about it much, but her journey to forgiveness is quite profound. Vincent Jenna, who you saw in the video, he is a therapist with an MSW, and he's also a psychic medium. So he'll be teaching us how to talk with the animals, which I'm really interested in, because Molly, my dog, is really in a grief pattern right now that I'd like to work through. And then he'll do a pre-conference workshop on how to be unstoppable. That'll be a 3-hour workshop where he'll work with each person and go on. And he will help people learn where your blind spots are, shine a light on them, and be done with them. We'll have Rosemary Ellen Guiley back. She's written over 60 books. She's a George Noory favorite, and so she'll be talking about contact and transformation. I've got my good friend and former client, Caroline Sutherland, coming. She's was Louise Hay's medical intuitive, and she's a Hay House author, and so she'll be talking about how to up-level the body for a high vibe life, and how to take care of the body in that regard. And she'll also be in our intuitive lane providing mini medical intuitive readings. So I'm really happy to have her. We'll have William Stickevers, who is a consulting astrologer. He'll be talking about the soul's purpose through astrology. We'll have Scott Taylor, who is now the president of the Monroe Institute. He'll be talking about what nearly dead people tell us about living, the near-death experience and the wisdom that they gained, and how we don't have to go there in order to gain that same wisdom. And we'll have Joshua Tongol coming in from the Philippines, who's going to talk about believing the impossible despite the challenges that come your way. So it's all about up-leveling and healing the body and the hormone system and the immune system. And we're also going to have fun with George Noory on Friday night, and Tom Danheiser, his producer, with a psychic event, psychic game night. And so that will be our fundraiser for AREI. And we'll have Jamie Clark and Ernie Jackson and Mark Christopher Nelson will be doing psychometry, and we'll be giving readings, and we're going to have a lot of fun. So it's not just all work, it's fun.
Wow, it sounds like it's going to be a fairly packed schedule. How many days does it go for?
So we start on Thursday, the 12th, with 2 pre-conference events. And if you'd like to do any of the bucket list tours, like to Sedona or around the valley here, or also we have opportunities to go on a Jeep tour, which is really fun. I take everyone who comes to visit me here on a Jeep tour. I go every time. It's fantastic. It's fun. It's a lot of history about the desert and about survival in the desert, which is really fun to learn about. And then we'll also have a little happy hour Thursday night before we begin bright and early at 8:15 or 8:45 on Friday morning. And we will go from Friday morning, we'll have breaks along the way, all the way till 10 o'clock that night.
Okay. And what about the accommodation?
The accommodations, we have another beautifully negotiated rate with the DoubleTree Resort. Last year we had to kind of pour into 2 hotels in the valley that were within walking distance, about 7 minutes walking. We have the 133 rate for our attendees, and the rooms are normally 209 at that time per night. So we really did a good job in negotiating those rates.
Thank you. Maybe we could just throw it open to questions now. Does anybody have a question or a comment?
Breakout rooms that we make a choice of different subjects to go and listen to, and there will be more than one person, in different rooms doing different talks. Will we have that available this year like before, or will we all be in the auditorium and hear one speaker at a time?
We'll have a combination of that. We will only have 2 people at one time, 3 times during the event so far. And so the rest of it, we're all going to be together in the big room, and we'll be at tables this time instead of sitting theater style. So you'll have a little bit more room, you'll be able to write, and we'll make it more comfortable than it was last year.
Yeah, I like the idea of having a table with something to write, that would make it easier.
Yeah, and so we will, and the schedule is coming out at the beginning of next week. So we'll broadcast that to everyone so that you know exactly what's coming up.
It's magic when you bring people together under the one roof who all are interested in sharing their experiences. I think that's just the icing on the cake.
You make a great point, Wendy. We could do all of this online in this venue right here, but I feel as though people want to come together. They want to meet. They want to elbow each other during a talk and say, "Hey, did you hear that?" And have the hugs, have the interaction, and be in the same space with people. I think it's really important for our own growth and for fun. We will have a lot of fun at this weekend.
Fantastic. And Suzanne Giesemann is joining you this time.
She is. She will present twice during the summit, which is included in your pass. She'll do the Awakened Way, which is her really special event, and she'll also do an hour with Sanaya. And then she'll do her 3rd time will be on Sunday afternoon when she presents a 3-hour workshop. So her other symposium or summit event is What's Love Got to Do with It? And her description is just yummy on what you can expect from Suzanne. I mean, she is just not only a pro, but she was born for this, absolutely born for it.
And what is Suzanne Wilson doing this time?
Suzanne is going to do our lunch. She'll be with Elizabeth Vanny Boisson, and they'll talk about Elizabeth's son and what happened during the period of time that he passed and how they made connection. And then Suzanne will spend the rest of the time providing readings, a platform demonstration while we're having lunch. So we'll have a meal while we're being entertained by the 2 of them.
And tell us about John Holland. I love John Holland. He's such a sweetheart.
he, he has been in communication with me in ways that I really didn't expect, saying, what if I do this for marketing? How can I help here? How can I help there? With a guy who is just has a crazy schedule, he's amazing. He really cares about this event and being here. So Thursday night, he'll do a 2-hour platform demonstration followed by a book signing for his new book, Bridging Two Realms. And then Saturday night with George Nuri, he's going to do the power of the soul, inside wisdom for an outside world. And he'll do readings and provide mediumship readings and talking to the other side for some of our participants. And that includes our dinner gala event. So we'll be eating at the same time then as well.
Now, it's lovely to see that I think you've got 2 young people there. You've got Josh Tongle, who I love, and Arizona Bell. I think it's really important that we can connect with the younger generation. Would you agree on that one?
I completely agree. They are our future. And so we want to bring them in. I wish that I had started at that age. I started way later than that. And getting them started earlier in self-care, self-love, high vibrational living, and focusing on, I have to read this quote from Victor. There is an urgent need to educate the public on what the evidence shows really happens when we cross over and the implications of that for how we live our lives. That's the crux of this. And to get these millennials or even younger involved right now is our goal. First of all, I want to thank Sandra Champlain for also aligning with the Soul Summit. She cannot be there because she's got a catering event, but she's having our presenters on her radio show, which we really appreciate. I want to thank Craig again for everything that he has done in support of this. It has meant the world to us. And I want to thank Suzanne for being such a special and amazing mind in all of this. And to be able to see around those corners that we need in this type of a production. It's a big production. I am wide open that if you want to call me or email me, anyone, to talk about this or to talk about things that you'd really like to see during this weekend, we will do our best to make it fit everyone's desires where we can.
How many people are you expecting this time?
We're expecting around 500.
Right, so it's going to be a big event. It'll be a who's who of the afterlife. And I'm just so excited that you're bringing new people who we haven't been exposed to before. That people want to be exposed to growth, to new things. And I'm really excited that you are doing that. And you're doing some yoga this year. Could you tell us a little bit about that?
We'll have yoga each morning with a yoga teacher, and it'll last about an hour. It's early. It's at 6 a.m., but gives you time to eat and all of that. So we wanted to have a rise and shine yoga each morning just to get into the groove of the weekend. Thank you.
Craig, would you like to say any final words and to thank Kaleen?
Yeah, thank you, Kaleen. It is a delight to be able to see you and hear you speak. And Kaleen is brilliant. She has done a marvelous job with the conferences, and she is the administrator for AREI. So we're looking forward to having some future in which we're going to be able to do much more. So thank you, Kaleen. This has been a wonderful time. And thank you for speaking about the summit. It's going to be an exciting summit. You did a marvelous job on it.